Alright folks, you see the bikes. There's a 79 CR390 Husky. That's a 98 200 EXC KTM. And I think either one of these bikes could win this battle. It's going to be a matter of how many mistakes I made and how well I remember the track. I just put this track in. It's a little bit of the old with some new stuff in it out across the side of the hill, and it's a great track for practicing. And I wanted to make it sort of tight because I wanted to work on my clutch work, especially on the Husky. I wanted to see how well it would do, and as far as the KTM goes, it was a matter of just getting out there, and it's a lot lighter, the newer suspension and everything like that. But I had a good friend of mine make me up a set of rear shocks to stiffen up the rear of the Husky, and it's putting power to the ground like you would not believe. It's like a brand new bike now. And worked on both the setups a little bit. I put a 14-2 sprocket in on the Husky, whereas last year I had a 13-tooth on there, and it seemed a little bit much. And the 14 tooth on the KTM is what I've had on it for years, and I'm not changing anything that way. But it does seem to be really sensitive. It's got a stiffer suspension on it, and when you're out on a motocross track, no problem at all with KTM. But I had to really soften up the tire pressure. I went as low as 5 pounds in the front and 6 in the rear, and it really gave it a good bite, and it stopped a lot of that deflection I was having. Like in this section right here, and it's really hard to see exactly the little details and stuff like that right here. This is a really rocky section across there, just kind of hanging back on the bars a little bit, and just look. I'm really focusing on looking way out ahead of myself. I've noticed that my lap times have come way down, and definitely helped quite a bit. Coming down this old logging road, I got a farmer that is extremely generous in the fact that they don't farm this part of the ground. It's real close to our property, and he told us we could put in a small track, and I use it for walking as well. But it's great to kind of snake around here and try to stay as far away as I can from the main road, so I ain't disturbing too many of the neighbors. But there's a nice little hill climb coming up here, and I am shitting and getting going up over this hill. It's pretty steep. You can't tell in the video, never can. There's a nice little stump right here. Whoa! Yeah, catch a little air off of that. Out across here, there's a lot of old yellow grass and stuff like that, and I've tried to walk this as many times as I can. And for you step challenge people out there, it's at about, I can usually get about 4,000 or 5,000 steps for each lap. I don't know what that works out miles wise, because I don't know what this is mile wise, but it takes a little over 5 minutes for each bike to get around here. Anybody want to take a guess on which bike won the cross-country challenge? I didn't make many mistakes in my opinion. I felt pretty comfortable on both bikes, and I'll wait a little later on in the video. I'll let you know what the times were, but they're really close. To give you an idea, they were 8 seconds apart. That's not bad. And consider how much newer and lighter the 200 is. It just doesn't have the cubes that the Husky's got, being a 390 and all, and it's running good. But you can also tell this course is fairly tight. Lots of turns, off camber stuff, and it's all on purpose. This section through here is really tight, and what you can't see is they're going to go into a steep downhill that's very sandy right here. It's hard to get any traction to get slowed down to make this right hand turn up this hollow, then you can get back on the gas. And nice little roundabout there. I back up over the hill, and I've tried to clear a lot of these leaves out of the way. I even brought the rake over and was raking a lot of them out of the way. Definitely made a big difference because them leaves were slippery. And it's about a 60-degree day out here, and believe it or not, tonight they're calling for 5 to 8 inches of snow, so I thought, I'm taking advantage of it. I'm getting out. I'm going to get them out. I want to do a little test on them. Both bikes are running good. I've been over here riding, trying to get familiar with the course. And for a quick go round to keep your muscles in tune and stuff like that, I think this track's going to work out great for me. We're going to switch over to the Husky. And this is the winner, folks. The KTM was doing it in 5 minutes and 26 seconds. I did 3 laps on each bike. And that was my best lap. And then I had a 5 minute and 18 second lap. And to be honest with you, though, they all were within a second or two, all of my laps. It's funny that you can do this big of a course, which isn't gigantic by any means, and you only have a few seconds difference in between the two. But this thing, when you can open it up, you can cover way more ground with it, that's for sure. I'm really looking forward to running the classes in the ARMA this year, and this will be my post-finish bike. I'm looking forward to it. I'll probably run the 50 plus, but I'm going to be looking around at other classes and seeing what else is out there as well, and be running with a different group of guys this year, so it should be fun. There's a sinkhole coming up here, right here. Gonna shoot up into it, and then right here's a nice little jump up out of it. Hard right-hand turns, another sinkhole to the right. I decided just to go around the rim of it. What you can't see here is that with all this yellow grass, you gotta stay on the trail because there's lots of hidden little logs and stuff like that in around there. And there's a lot of like old pine roots that are starting to come rearing the head up, and man, it gets slippery with them. There's this little rocky section, and this is kind of off camber, you can kind of see it. With good tires on, it wasn't bad. The soil is amazing through here. Lots of traction. Back out onto the skidder road. And what you take note, there is 2 deep washed out ditches on either side of this. I'm going right down through the middle of it where it didn't get washed out. This road's been in here for years, but you can see it. It got deep. Really washed out in through there. This bike is becoming very fastly. It's becoming my favorite bike. It feels really comfortable standing, sitting, getting a lot better on how to clutch it. It's really only about an inch pull to disengage it, which I don't necessarily know if I like, but it definitely works good. If I could just get this thing to start in neutral, or I mean get started in gear, I would like it so much better. But I think in the races this year, I'll probably end up starting it in neutral and then bumping it in gear and taking what I get, and hopefully I don't get stuck behind too many people. I can make some passes on it all right. I'll be happy with that. And this bike as well, I'm looking way out ahead of myself, and it seems to really help. I don't think I was looking far enough ahead when I was practicing last year and whatnot, and I'm trying to really lower my times down. I try to get a lot more seat time on these bikes with this course, and I'll walk it and ride the mountain bike over here. Try to keep it up and going. Great little track, if you ask me. I'm super happy with this little practice track. This section right in through here, it can get technical. Little jump there. That's another thing I'm trying to do is kind of like seat bounce out a little bit. Probably can't tell. Right here's another one. Bam. Compress the suspension down a little bit right before that and have it pop up over there. It seems to work really good. Here's another sandy section. This whole knob is very sandy. Traction is at a premium, to say the least. Down over this hill with the sand wants to let go, it just balls up the dirt underneath your tires if you get her locked up. I missed the trail there for a second. Back up over here, but you can tell this 390, I mean, man, does it cover some ground quick. Really, really good suspension. It seems to be really balanced right now. We're about ready to finish her up, but I thought I'd show you guys the practice track and give you a little lap or two around here on both bikes, and that's what we're doing in the wintertime. When we have nice days, we're letting her rip over here and getting some seat time. Just thought I'd bring you along. Y'all have a good day, and we'll talk to you a little later on. Adios.